Good evening, everybody. This is CmdrAleon with Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And we were on last night, had some technical problems. We fixed it. The commander fixed the problem thanks to one of our viewers. We fixed it, so we are alive and well. Yes, indeed. Even technology can't keep the commander down, so it's all good. And welcome to Encounters, a show that's out of this world. I am a contactee, host of WESU-FM's Cosmic Eye Radio for 21 years. And not only that, but my father on the ship over a month ago gave me some abilities within me to help people. Hey, Cliff, good to see you, brother. Good to see everybody here. Hey, and Cole, everybody. I know a lot of you missed me, and last night was a crazy night. And I really didn't get to do what I wanted to do. And so we're doing it tonight. Yes, indeed. So now I'm really focused. I got a clear head, and I'm now in that vibrational space to talk about what's happening. So we're going to get into that. Hey, Johnny, good to see you, brother. Lavola, good to see you. And Cole, you're gone past 2 nights. Melody, thank you for the heart. I need to set my goals up, which I didn't set up tonight so far, but I'm going to while I'm here. Let's see here. Oh, okay, we're going to set my goals up here. It'll take me a moment to do, but I'm just setting them up, and I just did. Hey, Dragon, good to see you, everybody. Caligo, good to see you. All the new people, all our regular folks, thank you for the hanging light. I appreciate it. And I'm really, really amped up here. And I want to get into really discussing the objects. I don't say object, but objects that are coming to Earth. I want to get into getting people have heard about this. I've been really focused on it a little bit the last few days, and I think it's going to be a great discussion. And I don't know if anyone else out there has been focused on it or watching any of it, but I think it's something we need to discuss. Now, I preface that statement by letting you know that has nothing to do with 2026, with the major contact in 2026. It has all to do with the fact that there was this object that the James Webb Telescope has seen and recorded, and it changed direction. So this object was recorded going in a certain specific direction. Now, it wasn't a comet or a meteor or asteroid, because an asteroid doesn't have an intelligence to say, okay, I'm going to go towards Earth. I'm going towards planet X. All right? So that's thrown out the window. There's no way that happens. Number two, is it possible that there was like a space weather problem and this thing is now pushed towards Earth? Maybe, but very unlikely. Number three, the most obvious thing is, and it's really obvious, is that I have it on recording on the Alexa app. I did an experiment about 2 days ago before I went live, and I recorded it. And then my question was, I asked the Alexa app, the James Webb Telescope has detected objects heading to Earth. And the answer I got from, which I thought would be, I don't understand that. You know how the app says, I'm not going to use the word because I've got one I'm hooked up in the bathroom. But it says, I don't understand that. I don't know what that is. That's its response, right? Now, I expected the same response. What it said blew my mind. It says an armada of alien spaceships. This is recorded. I've got it documented right here on TikTok. It says an armada of alien spaceships, to use the words alien, spaceships are coming to Earth. Now, I would not call them alien, but it did. So what really it's saying is there's an armada of spaceships. Yes, we're back. Armada of spaceships coming to Earth. Jay Niner, I want to have you up tonight to talk about the incredible sightings you're having right now. It's pretty amazing. And I think it's all related. But it said that an armada of spaceships are coming to Earth. Now, it's all the way you present the question. Also, now, if I present and I say an object is coming to Earth, it was talking about an asteroid coming to Earth. But when I said the James Webb Telescope has detected objects coming to Earth, I said it that way, like that way to see what it would do. And it automatically told me, hey, media woman, thank you so much. It automatically told me that armada of alien spaceships are coming to Earth. It was clear as a bell. So I had to document it. So I had to make sure it wasn't a glitch or some weird thing or whatever. And I recorded it just so in case people say, that's not true. I got it on recording. You want to go up against that, forget it. Hey, Scrubs USA, good to see you. And now I also really feel that we're going to have a lot more stuff happening. We already are. You're going to see, as we go into 2025, a real increase of these sightings. Things are going to be amping up. It says, I'm curious, on your opinion, is smoking bad? Yes. I think people should not smoke, especially because I believe that your body is your temple and it clogs up your consciousness. So yeah, people, if you had to give up anything, give up smoking. If you're having a glass of wine with dinner or something, or a hard cider, maybe a glass, bottle of beer, whatever. But smoking clogs up your system. Yeah, there's lagging on a little bit of lagging on TikTok tonight. Yeah, see? Yeah, Papa Smurf. Yeah, it's all in the way you ask the question. We're doing good, Daniel Starr. Good to see you, brother. Telly, thank you for the heart me. I am really energized after last night. Do you believe in tumor fish? I don't know what tumor fish are. Something wrong. Wong. I have no idea what that is. I never smoked or drink alcohol. Good. I would suggest, as we get close to contact, a lot of people, as hard as it might be, meditate and talk yourself out of, if you've had it's kosher, okay. Talk yourself out of, smoking, heavily drinking, because when contact happens, you want to be as clear as you can. Especially, if you get visited, you want to have a clear conscience. And that's really, really important when it comes to contact. Man, I'm so amped up tonight, incredibly amped up. So, and I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. If it's off topic, I'm not going to talk about things. But if you ask me, like, related to, smoking affect my cosmic, abilities, yeah, it will. It just needs to. There's no in between for me. It's like I don't smoke, I really don't drink, and I'm just really focused on cosmic consciousness and really focused on the mission. All these other things are just distractions that people don't need. It might be comforting, but meditation is comforting too, right? Meditation, to get to the inner self, to the higher self, to the cosmic self, meditation is really the key. You don't need a cigarette or whatever to get yourself feeling good and calm. That stuff is just going to mess up your physical cellular structure. Because contact is coming, and when the space people do connect with us, you don't want to come up to them and say, I just had a couple of bottles of wine, and here I am. No, you don't want to be that. You want to be the best representation of Earthlings as possible. You want to be the best representations of Earthlings. Me too, Johnny. Me too, Hey, Wisdom Keeper. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for the roses. So Lisa B says, I'm sure I've been on a ship already, and I am going to see if I can invite Lisa B. So you have to be over 18, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no foul language, no drunks, no whatever, no kids on the show, no paranormal discussion, no religion, and no politics. So we'll see if we get Lisa B up here. Belladonna says, I'm focused on my telepathy visions and moving things with my mind. Beautiful, if you can do that. I don't drink, but I smoke. Yeah, I would say if you can eventually meditate and tell yourself that you don't need to smoke anymore, it's going to make a big difference. So let the meditation be your addiction. Not that that's an addiction or anything, but you can just gradually like maybe, instead of smoking, get a gallon of apple cider. Become an apple cider person like me. And I'll tell you, it tastes a lot better. Hey, Jersey for Life, good to see you. Hey, Peggy. Good to see everybody. She's only has 47 followers. Yeah, she only needs a couple more followers to go live. So, if she is still here, B, where is she? Lisa B. We're going to pin Lisa B up. She has 47 followers. So if she gets a few more, we can probably bring her up as a guest. She says, I'm sure I've been on a ship already. So just follow her, and I'll see if I can bring her up as our first guest. We are really focused on contact. And, I won't just bring people up. If I see a name, I don't know who it is. I want that person to make a comment, and maybe I'll have to look and see what the comment is. Maybe they did. How do I make contact? Doris, the chicken. The first thing you have to do, Doris, is one of the things I'd recommend is get the C5 app downloaded, which is Dr. Stephen Greer's app on your iPhone or your Android phone. Download, it's like $10. Learn the protocol of peaceful visual contact. It's going to be visual first. Learn to do that with the CE5 app, Doris. So I'm going to start you off with that and then if you have other questions, once that happens, then I'll teach you how to make contact with, again, positive star people. Hey, Susan, Jersey for Life, thank you. Hey, Julie. My internet is lagging. Yeah, it's just, it's TikTok tonight. There's some lagging going on. Linda watches the skies all night. She lives in the country. Let's see here. Oh, I have El Pinguo. Let me see here. I'll bring this person up. And again, they're in Santiago. They were born in Santiago. Arrived in the United States at age 5, veteran. And again, what I'm talking about tonight is if any questions about contact and about what happened with the James Webb telescope, I can talk a lot about that from my perspective of what's coming to Earth. And I've watched all the videos from TikTok to whatever, and one person said, oh, it'll be in 2039. And that's not happening. I think this armada of spaceships will be here, and I don't know, I'm not going to say weeks or a month. I think they're going to be here way quicker. Whatever that is, they will be here quicker than we know it. And I think the Pentagon's aware of it. Of course, NASA's aware of it. Their telescope, James Webb Telescope, has recorded and picked up this thing. Now, some people think it's one big solid object, but according to the Alexa app, it's an armada of alien spaceships. So, hey. I think it's Robert. Okay, Robert Anthony. I'm going to go by Robert. I see the name there. As long as we're over, let's see, I'll bring Robert up here. And we are talking about what's happening with this armada of spaceships coming over, and it's all related. And so, Robert, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hello, sir. Thank you for letting me be here. I'm 52.
Yeah, glad to have you with us.
I'm 52, and I think this is a great topic. It's the first time I've seen it here on TikTok, and I appreciate it because there's so much going on, and this contact that keeps going on, like generation after generation, has been going on for such a long time. And honestly, I think that it is in direct relation to spirituality and religion. And every religion has a point of origin, and it comes from the sky, a light from the sky, and it imparts knowledge to those on the ground, those who are living in these areas, and it teaches them how to conduct themselves. And I think that right now, what's going on, it's significant because we are in that realm of like where we can decide whether we want to exist or not exist based on our weaponry. And if we wanted to destroy the earth, we could. And I think that that's why the increase in visual sightings has been increased because they're concerned. I think that there's a genuine concern that human beings have gotten to the point where we're gonna evolve this planet into a point where a lot of things will change, but it's all relative. And I think that in the end, Ezekiel had it right. I think Ezekiel was one of the first ones documented where he actually went on he described being on a vessel which took him up above the atmosphere into a mothership. And that is the beginning of a lot of things for a lot of people, but it's a continuation. So I think that we're just a product of something that is greater than us, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so it's interesting to say that. So basically, um, with all my experiences and being at UFO conferences over the years, and my own experience when I was a kid in Long Island in the cul-de-sac, going upstairs, and for no reason, my brother and mother and father were downstairs. So and I only assume everybody knows this story. Some do, some don't, who are new here. I was just before teenage years, went upstairs. It was nighttime, and I just had no reason to go upstairs, but I left the kitchen, zoomed upstairs like I had to go upstairs. Went past my room, went to my brother's room. It was nighttime, opened the wood blinds, and there was a big spaceship, a saucer-shaped craft, hovering right by almost ground level, almost touching ground level, and it had like a white aura around it. And it had a lit up center like an energy system or something. It was blinking like crazy. And I saw men and women and what I call young adults in light blue space outfits. And they spoke to me. They were tall, they were human, beautiful, and they said, "You're not from here. Remember that you're not from here." That's the first time it happened to me as a child, as a kid, and I never forgot that. So now, as I got older, I mean, I've always through the '60s, I had always seen things. I kept it quiet to myself. I would see a lot of spaceships in space on a clear night, and I would say, "Wow," you know. And as I got older, I've seen two big spaceships in the '80s up here in Connecticut. I've had a lot of experiences, and I'm also connected with the Ashtar Command. I'm a star seed, so I remember where I come from. I came from Mars, which has about 10 to 15 million inhabitants living there that are human, spiritual people that live on a planet. Contrary to what NASA and other people think of Mars, it is a living planet. And but I work with the Ashtar Command, and I've been involved in intergalactic communications off planet. So my background here on Earth is media. I do radio and NPR radio for 21 years on this subject. So I'm glad you came up here because we're going through a very big transformation, and we're going to be having contact in 2026 with the star people. If you want to unmute your mic, go ahead.
And I firmly believe that as well. We're very close. We're on the precipice of actually getting to the point where it's been predetermined when it will happen, and we are there. We're just, I mean, there's so much video evidence. There's way too much evidence. I mean, and I think that civilizations have existed on this planet before human beings, and we're like the fourth or fifth attempt of creating humans on this planet because we inevitably F things up, and we try not to, but we're given another opportunity all the time. But I think that our spirits are the spirits that guide our vessels, which is our bodies, that belongs to a higher being, a power that they understand where it is and who it is because they are part of that same thing. So like you could have like the most advanced civilizations on other galaxies and other parts of the universe that all fall under the same creator. And that power is what we tap into when we say, I'm going to meditate or I'm going to pray or I'm going to have faith in something, because innately we're born knowing that that's a reality. And then we kind of like use our own logic to talk our way out of it and say, there's nothing there because I can't see it. It's not really there. But regardless of whether or not I feel it, I don't believe things that I can't see. And that's what human beings have always fallen. That's just the
Right.
wrong way to think.
Right. And the other thing is, I want to, knock this matrix out of the water, because too many people still believe this. We were not created by other extraterrestrial beings. We are all created by the Creator, which is one God, not many gods. One God created the whole multiverse. And in so
Yes.
doing, created all the planets. This whole thing in this whole subject matter over the years, I've heard it time and time again. There are people that truly, in their minds, constantly think that they were created by some extraterrestrial race. No. Every extraterrestrial race originally was created by a creator. I cut right to the chase. There's no this or that or the other thing did it or the other person, or we were created by a group of people from planet B. Every planet that has life on it, every planet is a sentient being itself of life, was created by the creator. And I know that's hard for some people out there, not necessarily my audience, but there are people on websites that promote that whole concept. The ones that created us are coming back. No, there's no ones that created you. God created everybody. And I'm not talking from a religious perspective. I'm talking from a whole cosmic perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that encompasses everything. Like you're going back to all the prior civilizations, the ones that created pyramids and put what is that, the one in Scotland, the circle there.
Oh, yeah, the crop circles.
Stonehenge, and then there's crop circles, and then there's Machu Picchu, and
Yeah.
there's on Easter Island, and then
Yeah.
uh, what is that? Tel Galbi Tepe.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Right. That's like hundreds of thousands of years old. And there's these monolithic stones that are erected and have these designs of animals. And those things are sacred and so important because we can't, we human beings can't even explain how the hell people in 200,000 years ago were able to cut these stones, put
Right.
them there, and then put them in such a pattern, and it's just unexplainable kind of stuff. And so, but
Right.
what you were saying, that no matter who that was or what exists out there, it all falls under one creation, one
Right.
Holy Spirit that has created everything, and we should all adhere to it because it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
It is not. It doesn't want to hurt anyone. It's the positive life thing that flows through the entire universe, and it's so powerful. Like when
Right.
if you really like you are, I love the fact that we're on the same page because it is actually like happiness that human beings deserve to have, and while we're here, on this planet, because when we transfer to the other side, when we're in our spirit world, we will have that same happiness, and it's because of the fact that we had faith in the fact that it existed.
Right. And the thing is, the beautiful part of my show tonight, which is really focused on contact and about the amount of ships that are coming to Earth, and I don't have a specific day or week. I won't even go there because I don't know how long it's going to take them to get here, but it's not going to be 10 years. And it's going to be way, way sooner than that. And I just think people have to be prepared. The whole thing is for me, I've been like a contactee for years. I only had one time when I was a kid to see the space people. Now, I might see them. Maybe when I go off, out of body, I probably go on the ship and see them. But I traditionally never remember all the time what happens when I leave my body that way. So I'm comfortable with that. But I do get downloads and I get information, which is more important, from the Ashtar Command. I don't channel anything. I don't have pendulums swinging around or, candles lit or, whatever. I'm very matter of fact. I get my information direct and I give people the honest truth on the show here. And I've been doing this for a long time,
Yes, and I heard you mention the app that I think it was like MS5 or something like
It's
that.
actually called CE5. If you have it's like $10. So you have an iPhone, you can get downloaded on the Apple and just study the protocol first. Take your time with it. It's not like a rush to the end of the finish line here. just you get used to it. Maybe you have a few people that are open to it, what we're talking about, and maybe get 2 or 3 people together, find a place you can go to with less light pollution, and maybe on a weekend, on a clear night, use the app and study it first and see what happens.
I've done that. And I live on an island off the East Coast in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And on summer nights, especially, the sky is very clear. And I've met several people through the app because you can link up with people that live in your area. And we've done that. We've done a sit-in at the beach on a clear night, and we didn't have like anything like a light come down or something so strong and visual. But I think that what we did was we were able to, as a group, communicate positivity to a higher being. And I think it was what I felt was like we were being watched, we were being observed. And I know that they don't come down and make communication if it's going to frighten someone. And I had a feeling like there was people in the group that were already afraid that it might happen. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to come down to the group and say, hey, look, or here we are, when people are going to freak out. They're not into that. That's not the thing.
No, it isn't. And I know some people here around the world might live in like Copenhagen, or they might live in Hong Kong, or wherever they are watching a show. You want to definitely find a place that you can go outside of the city limits, where you can go with 2 or 3 people and utilize the app. The most important thing I can tell people is to meditate. I think if you're not meditating, take time to learn how to just take a break from going all over the place. Even when you have no time, when you're not working, you're still going all over the place. Stop yourself from going over the place. Do some meditation, use higher vibrational music. I use ambient space music. I use Christ consciousness music. And if you use those kinds of sounds, that's for your meditation part. Then once you get into that state of meditating and connecting within yourself, you will eventually be able to connect telepathically with the star people. But you have to learn how to do that first. If you don't learn how to do that, you're not going to make that connection. Say, why can't I make connections? You got to do the work in order to make it happen.
Yes.
So you got to do the work.
And so, right, and exactly that the work is the practice. And by practicing, it means repetitiveness. You have to keep trying over and over. And it's not like you're going to get like, okay, I'm going to say on the 3rd try, you're going to get it. We don't know. Nobody knows, but you have to believe, and you have to keep practicing, and you will inevitably make a connection in a way that is personal.
Yeah.
It isn't going to be like something like what's, you see in the movies and shit, where a fucking spaceship comes down and
we got to watch the language. We got to watch the language.
I'm sorry.
That can get me in trouble.
No, you're right. And I apologize. So like, it could be like a spaceship comes down and beings come out and all this glorious things are going to happen. No, it's a slow process because you have to build trust. Yeah. It's a trust building thing.
Yeah. it really is. And, the star people, the human beings that are coming here now individually, I believe there are people without any TikTok or computers or anything that are having visitations in the Netherlands, in Scandinavia, in different parts of Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Asia, that don't have any of this technology, that are having visitations with people from other planets right now. They just can't tell their story because they don't have this TikTok or whatever. So just imagine those that are coming on my show having contact with space people in the positive sense. There are 10,000 other people out there that are probably being visited right now, and we don't even know who they are. Not yet, anyway. When this thing next year, as we go into 2025, people need to be aware, and it's happening up already now, that there's going to be more sightings of things you've never seen in the skies around the planet, and people need to be prepared for that. How do you prepare for that? by taking my advice and doing the meditation, going within in a Christ conscious meditation, and getting yourself at a high vibrational level. So when contact happens in 2026, the human race, the people of the planet Earth, will be then ready to be representational of a different way of doing things. There's going to be a lot of things happening here between now and the new Earth. And there is going to be a new Earth. The Earth you're living on is, you're not going to another planet. The Earth is going to be renewed. How is that going to happen? That's going to be with the help of our space family, the Ashtar Command. They are working now very carefully to clean up our environment in the air, but they're also working and getting ready for contact with our planet. And so therefore, we as people here, and this show is dedicated to getting people the information. Like, this is probably going to be one of this, because I do a talk show here. I'm not just a regular TikTok person talking about UFOs. My background's in media. I'm still doing radio for 21 years. I took my concept from radio here, and this show is definitely dedicated to the Ashtar Command. And as just so you know, I come from that background, and I do go off planet. I just don't remember going on the ship, but I do go off planet to the ship. I just don't remember. So Robert, I want to thank you for being a first guest.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Yes, yes.
I hope to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, we're on 11 o'clock nightly. I might take a night off sometimes, just recalibrate. But my show's on 11 o'clock at night. My Sunday morning show on NPR Radio is wesufm.org, 11:30 Eastern. But we are here usually regularly on nighttime at around 11 o'clock.
I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, Robert, thank you for coming up here, and I'm going to let you down. And let's see here. And so we are talking about how does one raise their frequencies, Timmy says. Let me bring Timmy up, and we can help Timmy. And we want to help people on our Ashtar Command Night, which we were trying to do last night, but we couldn't do, so we're doing it kind of like tonight. And we will take questions here live. You have to be over 18. And if you feel a bit nervous about coming up, that's okay too. You don't have to. But one of the ways, Timmy, to elevate your consciousness is to take time for yourself. If you're not working, find a place to meditate where it's quiet, there's no noise or TVs or everything, and go in and use higher vibrational music. You can get it on YouTube. A lot of it's on YouTube. And like I use Cosmic Christed meditation music. You can use music that is just ambient space music, and that is a way to start. So really the most important thing to do 20 or 30 minutes a day of your own free time to meditate with this higher vibrational music and get into a state of not thinking, turn your brain off and just go into that state. And that'll get you prepared, at least to be in that higher vibration level, is with that type of music. Yeah, Lee Ramoon, no P. Diddy. MW Commander, did you see the comments from Belladonna about the Zeta? She is, I've had her on the show before. I want to get the Zeta out of her life. The Zeta have programmed, she's a good person, but the Zeta are controlling her, and that's a whole nother night for things, But there are things coming up. MW, thank you for the question. Yeah, so Nicole says it's for me, it's cleaning up, eating, and zeolite powder daily. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it's really important that people, heed what I'm saying about getting yourself ready for contact. It's not like, okay, the star people show up and come to Earth in 2026, and half of the population of billions of people are running around trying to figure out what's happening. It's going to take time. We have over 7 billion people on this planet, and that's a lot of people. So it's going to be up to every individual here who eventually gets to that state of consciousness to help their brothers and sisters, because it's going to be people in your family that don't know anything of what you're talking about. They're not even going to even know what's happening when the spaceships appear in the skies above Earth. But they will, once they see them, they're not going to even know how to respond, because everyone has been programmed on this planet to an extent of all the generations in the last 70 years have been programmed to believe certain things are the way they are, right? And that's exactly what the media does around the world. Is you won't see, how many times do you ever see, wherever country you live in, your international media, your national media talk about spaceships or, these UFOs were sighted over Paris or whatever. You don't. And they're going to have to face it because it's coming. When the ships start appearing all over the world from other planets, they can't just ignore it and just have la-di-da conversations with actors and actresses about their next, Golden Globe Award or their, next commercial for cereal or whatever. I mean, it's just not going to happen that way. They're going to have to tell people the truth. And I will share this with you. I'll share this with you. Some of you have no idea what's happening. Some of you do. And every once in a while, I'll touch on it, okay? So with the Ashtar Command, and I will mention this as we get towards major contact, I believe, and again, I'm still trying to get clarity, I believe this is going to be right before contact, that I'm going to be taken on a spaceship. Okay, I know where I'm going. I know the spaceship. There's going to be 4 of the people, and I think one of them might be in here now, Johnny of the third kind. And there's 3 other people that, we're going to be going on a spaceship together, but I'm going to be doing something separately from that. The Astro Command Council, this is not channeled information. This is direct from the ship. This is real information here that you might want to jot down. The show is being recorded. All my shows are on YouTube, Astro Command Spaceship News, but you might want to jot this down. Okay. When the time comes before contact on Earth, the council on this main ship of the Ashtar Command had a meeting over 2 months ago. I think it's over 2 months now. Who cares how many months it's been? They made a decision to have me represent them in a worldwide broadcast. What does that mean? You might want to take notes. Stephen Greer might want to be listening to the show, but he's not. And now all the people, all these people who are well-known UFO people that have written books and been on TV shows and documentaries, they're going to be hearing from Ashtar Commander. They're going to be hearing from CmdrAleon. Okay? When that time comes. Now, we operate in time. The space family, the Ashtar Command, they don't operate in time off planet. None of them do. There is no time in space, right? Hey, John, good to see you. There's no time in space. When they are ready for me to come on, and it's going to be sometime next year, and it'll be before 2026. I don't know when it is, but I don't care. I'm not one of those people that says, okay, how come I was on the ship 2 weeks ago? I don't think that way. I know I am here. I've got a mission to do. I have my talk show here, my radio show. I'm doing what I need to do right now. So I'm very at peace with not knowing when it's going to happen. But I do know when it's going to happen, I'll be contacted. And I'm fine with that. It's going to probably be very spontaneous. And then I'll be taken on a big spaceship. The Astro Command has a ship that has a monitoring control system. They can monitor our planet from the ship. When I'm taken on the ship, very specifically, I will be wearing a spacesuit of some sort. Because the atmosphere on the ship, the oxygen levels are different. So I'll be wearing some sort of a spacesuit outfit, and then I'll be going to their control center where they'll have some sort of a monitoring system, like with a screen. So they can monitor our planet from space. Okay. When that happens, thank you for the gifts. I'm supposed to be making a speech to billions of people on the planet. Now, I'm very naturally comfortable with media. I've been doing radio and TV for years. I'm very comfortable with it. I know exactly who I am, and I know why they chose me. I have no ego. I'm totally unconditional. And I'm not looking for fame or fortune. I'm here to do the mission work. I remember why I came here, you know? And when they take me on the ship, whenever that is, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be in 2025. I don't know when, but they'll come into my room and say, Commander, we're going on the ship. It's time. When they take me on the ship, just to let you know, this is the information I know. I'm probably getting this stuff downloaded in my sleep. I'll be sitting in some sort of a seat on the ship, probably comfortable, I would assume. And I'll be able to, I'll be seen. I think the wording I want to use, you'll be able to see me on the ship broadcasting to Earth. Now, how is that going to look? Okay. So this is what I understand. And this is probably stuff I've been downloaded while I'm sleeping. I'll be in front of the control. There'll be 4 other Ashtar Command people way taller than me that are human right behind me. That's the way the plan is. There'll be 4 or 5, I think, somewhere in that area. And I'll be sitting in front in a seat. And what will be happening is, according to what I understand, the Ashtar Command could take over essentially all radio and TV broadcasts. I don't think radio is going to be affected, but I don't know that yet. But I do know that every TV broadcast system on the planet will be overridden through a broadcast on the ship. Okay. So this I know. So for those that don't know this, you're not going to hear this from any other TikTok live or YouTube or any other social media. This is where you're going to hear about this right here on this show. My friend April, who's friends with Fairies 1111, I interviewed her sometime last year. That's when she started going off planet in Vermont, and met my parents on the ship, her parents on the ship. We have Johnny, the third kind family on the ship, and also Kit Kat. And this is a story that will go down in human history. This story is real. The things I'm telling you are real. Whether you believe it or not, anyone knows me, I don't care what you believe, frankly. I've been on this mission too long. I've been doing this too long, you know. So when we go on the ship, they'll be able somehow to take over every TV transmitter around the world, whether it be CNN News, BBC, CBC, NBC, I don't care what it is. And all those networks are going to be like freaking out when they see me coming over the TV screens of everybody around the world and speaking. Now, whether you believe this is going to happen with me or not, I frankly don't care. You know, I'm a person, if you know me long enough, you know I don't care. I'm serious about what I'm doing. My intent is serious, and it's going to happen. I don't channel anybody. I don't do any channeling whatsoever. I hope we can take over the phones and the computer. I'll learn more from my space family on the ship about what that's going to be like. I'm sure as I get into next year, I'll be downloaded more information. You know, so I'll have much more information then. And again, if you're just new to this show, we're really, really focused on, this is a show about spiritual ET stuff. We're not talking about Earth-based related subjects. So just look at the title of the show, Encounters, UFO Contact. Thank you. Hey, greetings and salutations, Mr. Extraordinary. Greetings to everybody coming in here. So that's going to be important, because once we have the ability to broadcast to the world, and get this, I don't care if they have the best technician in every radio and TV station in the world, their technicians will not be able to override the broadcast from the spaceship. You get this, understand this. When they have me in front of this monitor screen, however this works, I'm going to learn when I get on the ship, they will not be able, the Earth-based stations, TV networks, will not be able to override and stop the broadcast. No one will. And whatever I'm going to say, whatever I'm supposed to say, I'll learn when I get up on the ship to do it. Good. Hey, Emily, good to see you. Jennifer, thank you. Can you say I love you, RHYS? Let's see here. Thank you, everyone's coming in here. Morales, Nana, all the people coming in here. So I want to give you some education about what is happening, which I didn't get to do last night because of my technical problems, but everything is good. Hey, I think it's night. Night for a day. Good to see you. Interesting. So this is what's going to happen sometime next year. I don't know when. I'm not concerned about it. You know, if it was somebody else to say, well, how come I didn't go on the ship and do this already? You know, I don't think like just a 3D human being, you know. Who said it's an Armada? I have it on my recording. I think it's Art. If you go to my main page here on TikTok, I recorded it and documented it. It was the A app. I'm not going to say because I have it hooked up in the other room. I asked a very specific question. And when I did that, it stated that an armada of alien spaceships are heading towards Earth was the exact response. Now, when I asked it a different way, it didn't know the answer. It didn't have any answer. When I asked if an object was coming to Earth, then it started talking about asteroids. Then I started changing my questions around. When I asked the question, there are these objects coming, the James Webb Telescope has detected objects coming to Earth. When I said that, it responded and said to me that there is an armada of alien spaceships coming to Earth. I have it all recorded. I have it all documented. All documented. Not necessarily, but that's an answer I normally would not hear from that app, and it doesn't tell me when they're going to come. I'm going to try to, I don't trust a lot of that stuff, but that answer about 2 days ago, before I was live, I asked a question because I'm bringing all the video here on TikTok about this object coming to Earth. Now I said, okay, I got everyone's opinions about the object NASA says is coming to Earth. I wanted to ask the question of the app, and I got the response. So now I don't know when it's coming, this group of ships or whatever. I'm not going to put a total timeline on it, but I do think there's already ships here. I'm going to bring up Eddie, my friend with the Star Nation. And Eddie is a good friend, and also with the Star Nation does a lot of work with conferences. And I want to welcome up here from out west. Good morning, good evening, actually.
How's it going?
Things are happening.
I'm playing with comic books again.
Comic books, that's a good thing. You know, you have to be a kid at heart. You know, you got to do that.
Gosh.
But you heard what happened with the app. I don't want to mention it because it's in the other room, and I don't want it to turn on. And I documented it, so usually you don't get that kind of response.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a story that goes with that. Okay, so there's a book that was written maybe the 80s, or it's called CLO, Children of the Law of One. So the guy, he starts off the book by telling the story of how he actually started his journey. He was like really depressed, and he was just like life. You know, he had the questions, but he didn't have any answers, and he didn't know what to do. Everything is reversed. Is it reversed? Oh yeah, it is reversed.
Oh yeah. It's just the way. It's just because TikTok with the camera, it's just the way it is. But that's all right.
So John Paniel, that's his name, wrote CLO, Children of Law of One. He told a story of he was sitting, he was watching TV, and then I remember back in the day with the bunny ear TVs, like
I do remember that.
What would happen is when they would stop broadcasting, which was usually like a little after midnight, especially like local televisions, the screen would go fuzzy. So for all of you that weren't alive back then or know that information, well, his screen went fuzzy, and he sat there, and he when he woke up, and he just sat there and he looked at it, and he was just staring at it, and then all of a sudden a broadcast came through, and it was telling him what he needed to do. And he said, you know, and he was just like, wow, like, I don't know where to start. And it was basically telling him he needed to get to the Himalayas. And he's like
Really?
an American from the Midwest, and he doesn't know how to do anything like that, period. And then everything started to fall into place for him to get there. So this is his story. I mean, this person was someone that I know people that study the CLO work, and it's very fascinating. The star exercise, and like the importance of like people do ice baths these days, and they share that, like the cold bath in the morning to stimulate your energetic body to get to its max level. And it's funny because that story is exactly what you're talking about. Like, I mean, people are going to say, well, are you sure it was Alexa? Or are you sure it was this? Or maybe it's lying.
Right.
And it's like, well, when you're a person that lives in a different frequency, like different things happen. And
Right.
I'm not one of those people. I'm not trying to feed anybody stuff that I haven't had experience with, because I don't, like you said, we don't live in that world where,
Right.
for us, it's like we have to have the experience to share. And
Right.
this is how we end up knowing in our hearts what's true and not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. And with the app, I won't mention it because it'll go on. But the thing is, when I did this as an experiment, I wanted to do it first because I saw all these people on TikTok talking about this. Everyone had some creative videos, backgrounds. I said, no, I forget the creative backgrounds. I want to find out if this is really happening. So usually the app will say, when I ask you questions about ET stuff, it doesn't give me any answer. It says, I don't know that one. It says, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. But when you say, oh, so-and-so, the James Webb Telescope reports that there are many objects coming to Earth. When I said it that way, that's when it told me that there is an armada of alien spaceships coming to Earth. It said this right to me on its response. Now, you can't make that stuff up. It's not in its technology. However, Amazon created this app. It's been imprinted with information to answer certain questions. How could it answer that question that way unless it was given that information beyond human comprehension or understanding? So there was no interjection by the people that created it. Say, well, let's throw that in there so people are happy. Really?
Well, how would you even know to ask that question? That's the whole point, right? So and this is we are on like the precipice of getting people to understand this is what it takes, guys. It's not about belief in, please be skeptical, but put your skepticism to the side and be a scientist and be neutral and see if it works.
Yeah.
Because if it works, then you'll go, okay, there's got to be more to this.
Yeah.
Don't be what is that? Don't be a cynic. Be skeptical, but be a healthy skeptic.
Now people are asking me, the next step is to ask it when they're coming. Now I have to figure out in my head, I am interested in doing that, but I got to figure out how to relate to that app to ask the question to get the answer. I figured out how to get this answer, which was interesting. Now the thing is, I'm going to have to figure out how to word it, and I'm pretty sure I get the answer. I just have to figure. I'm still meditating on that part, and I will come up with a question, and we'll see what happens. I just can't predict anything. I don't like to predict anything. I really am experimenting to see what I'm going to get.
Yeah. I try to ask people, look, like I've said it before, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Look, there's always the question. Everybody has that question that doesn't understand the connection to nature and all things. Is the reason why we don't understand that is because we don't understand our own nature. We don't understand ourselves. Like, when we're still people stuck in the what we've been taught by television and society, knowing there's that inner feeling that something is wrong with what we've been taught, and makes us feel bad about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If I say, well, if you know, when people feel bad, I say, well, that's a good thing, because that is an alarm telling you that something isn't right. And then people go, well, that means something's wrong with me. I'm like, no. What it's saying is, that is an alert that's saying that something isn't right about what you've been taught. Everybody's perfect. Everyone's perfect. It's the things that we've been taught that, what we know, when we've been taught these false absolutes, that we go, I don't understand what makes me different. And that's the thing, is nothing makes you different. If you understand, the closer you get to the truth, the more you go, oh, we are all the same. We are, and and we're powerful, and we're beautiful,
really are.
And we're amazing. But when we're so far away from that truth, everybody seems like a stranger.
And the other thing is, you're absolutely correct about that. When we get to the truth, and everything we do, things you do in the Star Nation conferences with all the beautiful people that come to speak with knowledge from the stars and everything, it's all part of getting to what we call the truth. When we do these things and are proactive in doing these, we expand the consciousness of other people coming to hear the truth that have not heard it before, because all they hear is what they see every morning before they go to work. Have your bacon and eggs, have your vegetarian breakfast, vegan, whatever, and you're watching whatever news channel in the world that you live in whatever country you live in, and say, I'll see you later when I get home for dinner. But that's not getting into any kind of truth. They're just doing it automatically, going in and out and back and forth. And when people come to hear the truth, and like on this show here, we provide a place, because of my background, where everything to me is very clear in my consciousness because of my experiences with the subject. I'm here to bust the matrix and get people to center on the possibilities. Now, someone was asking, saying how many light years they are away, so far away from Earth, the armada of these spaceships. Now, let's look at it from a non-3D understanding of technology, because in order to understand how an armada of hundreds of spaceships can come to Earth, you have to think beyond the 3D understanding of how we travel in space, which is we go up, we have a space station, we have satellites that go into space, but we cannot do what a more advanced civilization can do to come from point A to point B. So when you say, oh, they're too far away from here, they're light years away, they'll take at least 100 years to get here. That's a 3D belief system created by your brain. Right here, the human brain, 3D belief system. The spaceships that are coming will be here sooner than you think, and it won't be 10 years from now or 5 years from now or 100 years from now. It's going to be soon. When contact happens in 2026, do you think, it is taking them time to get here from all these different places way beyond us, but it's not going to take 100 years for them to get here. They will be here. They don't operate in time. They are coming now. They are here now.
He says warping time and space. Maybe yes. No. Okay, I'm gonna give you a simple concept that is very difficult to understand. Inner space is outer space. Okay, so for most people, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because, well, what does that mean? Inner space is outer space. If you understand that what is within us is also out there, so you don't understand. We have people have a hard time understanding that we're existing in much more than just this space that we call skin. We because humans are at the point where they are in their evolution. This is where most humans are. This is why what you were saying, like meditation, deeper meditations and getting to 0 point, and in your meditation where you absolutely are nothing, is a very difficult thing, because we have that we have a fear mechanism that will literally snap us out of getting to the 0 point. It scares us, because it's like, am I dead?
And our brain, and it's like, and our human brain, Eddie, is also scared of losing control. let's face it. We have a brain. It's like a computer, our brain. It's a 3D mechanized computer. It understands what we have right here right now, which is we have math, we have science, astronomy, history, biology, whatever. These are the things that the kids learn when they go to school. And as they get older, they can draw pictures when they're little kids in nursery school. But now you can't do that anymore, because as you get older, you got to get serious. Now you got to learn textbook things. You got to have a textbook. Forget drawing a picture of a spaceship or birds flying and a beautiful rainbow. Now you have to get serious. Now you're growing up. You're not a kid anymore. You have to learn how to be a real 3D human on Earth, right? And how you're going to do that, folks? Well, you have to watch those commercials every morning about what kind of liquid to use to clean your dishwashing stuff, or how to clean the clothes, or how to get your kids ready for school. Because one day you're going to be a 3D human that's going to have a family, and you're going to be so focused on rushing to work and coming home and having a headache after a day of being yelled at. And that's the reality that is the 3D world. And what you're saying is true. If you are able to snap that reality, and this other reality comes into you, which says that, hey, wait a minute, you're not from here. You're a star, so you come from somewhere else. And then the brain doesn't like that. The mind doesn't like that, because now you're fighting with the brain, and you're saying to the brain, wait a minute, you've been telling this person all their life this is all they are. And then the brain freaks out, because it says, now I'm scared, because you're telling them the truth.
Right.
I'm only telling them what I've been taught in a textbook. You're telling them the truth. That's what's happening.
The secret is the secret to making contact is it's learning about that oneness thing. Is if you guys want to make contact with star beings, you're gonna have to learn to get along. You're gonna have to learn to trust another human being enough to look them in the eyes and see the eyes of God within each and every one of us. Yeah. And to look at one person that you can trust, just one, and look until you can see the soul, the spirit, and the being within. And if they are that trustworthy to where you can, let your guard down, let your that you can just be calm and beautiful.
Yeah.
You'll start to feel a resonance within yourself. And then next thing you know, that's what you're going to have to do when you make contact, is you're going to have to look at them, and you're going to have to feel that. You're going to have to see that and say, thank you. Thank you I'm honored. I'm honored to be in your presence, and for you to allow me to be in that space with you, because that's how they feel about they feel the same way. So somebody was saying V, it's going to be like that TV show.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I used to watch that.
They're going to eat us. No. That's fantasy. That's fear, fantasy fiction of the human psyche of our ego.
Yeah. It's really true what you're saying, Eddie, to our audience here. And if we can learn, the one thing, the space people that are coming are our personal families, my family on the ship, my two sisters and brother, my mother and father, and the other four, and just in general, the whole galactic Ashtar command that come from other planets and have their own lives with their own families, is that they want to come here. When they come here to make contact with us, they don't want to end up having a bunch of people with billions of people doing what they know. Matter of fact, that's not going to be allowed to happen. But when the contact happens, everything is in place to make sure everybody's okay. They don't want billions of people running around in the streets with fear as spaceships start appearing in the skies all over the planet. This is not going to be a situation like the series V, which we alluded to, which I did watch. It was well produced. It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like Independence Day, where they have these big ships and they're ready to take over the planet. It's not going to be like that. So you need to get your heads out of all the movies I've ever watched regarding ETs in Hollywood, except for maybe Contact, Cocoons, and maybe 2 or 3 other ones that are positive. It's just not going to be that way. And one of the things that's really important for me on the radio station on Sundays and here on this talk show is to make people aware. Eddie, as a regular guest, has a great deal of knowledge on this. And to me, then people that we interview who are having experiences, you're not going to find that anywhere else, because we want people to come out of the closet. We want people, if you're having visitations by star people, why would you sit back and say, Commander, I'm not sure I'm ready to come on yet? Come on, break out of the mode and, tell your story, because that is disclosure. If you're having contact with Palladians or Syrians or people from other planets that are beautiful star people, tell us your story. This is how we're breaking down the control on the media of not telling people anything and watching Good Morning America, and they say, here's the best deals and steals for the week, and now you can get a pocketbook for $50. What a deal. It was $200. So, call us up right now and get that pocketbook. Like, really, that's the consciousness they want to portray, and that's what they do. So we're here to wake up everyone on the planet. My goal is to reach every single human being on Earth that has the ability to watch this show, because you're going to have your minds blown. Eddie has a lot of information. He'll blow your minds. All my guests, whether they're well-known or not, will blow your minds based on their experiences. And it's the experiences that blow people's minds. It's the stories that are told. When people tell a story here, they're telling a story of their own truthful experience, whether it's an abduction, whether it's a meeting with space people, visited with positive beings, or telling their stories of seeing UFOs appear over the location in the mountains of Colorado or whatever. This is where it's happening. All my shows are recorded. So on YouTube, on Astro Command Spaceship News, you can go back to a recording of a show, watch the whole thing, and you'll learn something from it, And that's the most important thing for me, is to show that kind of love by producing a program where we're doing something real different, which we are. And that's why there's no other kind of UFO talk show up here. This was the first UFO talk show. Well, there was another one. They went off of here. They were on just the tail end of still being here when I first got on in 2023. But this is really the center point of what is a real UFO talk show, and not just UFOs. We don't talk about nuts and bolts. We get into the most important thing, which is people's experiences, getting ready now for contact. That is so crucial. But to get ready, what Eddie and I are talking about are to get you prepared for this very important moment, and that is to get out of your head and go to work, get your paycheck every week or whatever, but make sure you take time to have your space. Whether if you're a couple and you're both are, in that space together, be in that space. If you're an individual person living alone, find that space for yourself to take time to breathe in and breathe out, meditate, use higher frequencies of music, and get to know who you truly are besides this person that has a 3D world. Get into your inner cosmic spirit. That's really more important right now before any kind of contact happens with anyone.
Absolutely. There's and just so you guys know, I mean, there's a lot of you that are watching right now and that are sitting in a place where you've never been to a festival or a conscious festival or Mount Shasta or any of the sacred sites in America. And I say, go, I mean, go find your family, go find, because I've sat in cuddle puddles in Hawaii. I've sat, where it's like, do you know what a cuddle puddle is?
We better explain that to our worldwide audience. I have no idea what that is.
It's not sexual. It's non-sexual. It's where there's a bed, not like a living room or whatever. There's a bunch of mats around, and everybody's just sitting and they're laying on each other, talking and laughing and drinking tea, and and they get to be themselves and be close without any fear of somebody trying to violate them or trying to be sexual with them, because it's a contractual agreement that we want to be in a space that is just for a beautiful experience, to feel safe, not just for ourselves, but for the people that are there with us. And I've experienced that in Mount Shasta. I used to had an open door policy. If my door's not locked, come on in. If you're hungry, make some food. If my door's locked, that means either I'm not home, or I don't want company. But if my door is unlocked or if my door is open, come in. And it was beautiful. I those days, but they'll come. They'll be back.
Oh yeah, And that's just the beauty of what you're saying is that is if we all have, everyone's different. Everyone grows at a spiritual level on their own level. There are people that are coming in here now, probably just watching this, learning about what we're talking about for the first time. And that's the most beautiful thing when I have newcomers that have no idea, except they know this is a show about, encounters, which is a UFO spiritual show. And we're talking about all these things. They will always be hooked and they will come back because on an inner level, the inner spirit has guided them to the show. Most times when I talk to people, say, oh, I just found your show. And that's because their inner spirit, I truly believe, guides them here. It's not the brain, it's the spirit, the inner spirit. And because of that inner spirit, that's how people learn from the show here. And that's why in the next few months, next year, leading up to 2026, you're going to be, who knows what's going to happen, but you're going to be probably hearing things here you will not hear anywhere else on the planet, including the BBC News. It'll be right here. Yeah, I changed the background. I like this background. I really I found it, and there's a little tweaking I have to do. I have to reduce the lettering on encounters there a little bit so it fits in the screen. I'll do that after I go off the show here tonight. But this represents an armada of spaceships coming to Earth. So what better? I mean, I use the other one, has the same thing, the lighter colored one. The other one we have the 3 ships. But this one I found today. I said, man, I gotta use this. I'll switch back and forth the backgrounds, but this one I like tonight. I get some comments about that. Yeah. And when the ships come, you will see them. They'll be lit up like neon lights. You'll see the spaceships. You'll know they're there. Whether you've never had a sighting, I can tell you, everybody out there around the world, you will see these spaceships physically. It won't be like some figment of your imagination. You will actually experience this, and it's going to be beautiful. But again, because we have a ways to go before that happens, you need to do the cosmic spiritual meditation work to get yourself prepared for this. It's like, if you're going to learn how to swim, are you going to go jumping in at a beach in the Pacific Ocean in California, say, oh, I'm just going to go and I'll start swimming. And say, I can't, wait a minute, I don't know how to swim. I'm stuck out here. Can somebody help me? I'm having problems here. So what I'm trying to say is, before contact happens, now's the time to get yourself centered, meditating, and be prepared. And the word meditation is like a cliche, because someone says meditate, meditate, meditate. Well, there are different levels of meditation, right? There are meditations that are making you feel good meditations so you get through the day. But I'm talking about a meditation that's going to elevate your consciousness so that you will be prepared for contact with the space people when that time comes. And if we had to take a poll right now, how many of you are ready to make that step forward and not be afraid to do it? How many people out here? We have almost 300 people out here, which is average. We usually have more than that too. It depends. But are you all ready to make that commitment to yourself? Not to me, to you.
Can I answer this question? Let's see. Charlotte says, can you tell us about the blue star Kachina? I'll explain it to you the only way that I know how. Because a lot of people think that the blue star Kachina is like Christ and Christ consciousness, or how I explained it before, he's got a different name that they call him, that Christ is a Pleiadian. But there's another planet. There's another planet in the Pleiadian star system. We can only see 6, but there's 7. There's 7 stars. One of them, we finally did discover that there is one, and that's the blue star. Okay, so it's not a being. It's a race of beings. So the blue star, we can't see with our physical eyes, and these are beings that are of a higher consciousness that they have been here. We have made contact with them. Especially a lot of the Hopi people understand, because I actually have a blue Kachina. It's a $13,000 statue that a friend here in Texas gave me, and her daughter just gave me a few months ago a picture of a Kachina. And they're called Kachinos, but it's important to them how you say it, but not so important right now. But what I was told by a brother of mine, because there's only so much with natives that they'll share with you. The rest, they try to point you in the direction for you to do the work yourself. A brother told me, he said, I have to go into a sweat lodge for 4 days and 4 nights, and I have to take my drum and no hot stones, just being in there in the complete darkness. And I have to sing for 4 days and 4 nights. And on the fourth night, when I come out, that somebody will let me out. And on that night, I'll be able to see the seventh star of the Pleiades with my human eyes. You can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
No human can see them with the naked eye. But he was telling me, you do this and you'll be able to see the seventh star. And I said, okay, I know exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because I have to what do you call it? Fast the whole time. So no eating, just sitting inside a dark lodge, singing native songs. Because I'm singing, because all the native songs they're prayers. They're all prayers.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that a prayer or a hymn is that it is like we're singing to this external God thing, right. And it's like,
right.
Yeah. When you fast and when you do things like that for a long period of time with song and meditation and the pitch black, what ends up happening is you end up having a deeper experience. And I don't want to associate it with death, because people think, well, it's fasting. Yeah. But when you deplete your body of food after the fourth day, it starts to feed on itself. And your body actually will go into a state where it's like, well, now it's at a point of survival, and it slows down everything. It slows down your metabolism, your thinking, and everything else. And so you have this clarity. Yeah, no food or water. You have this clarity that you usually don't have in your everyday life.
Yeah.
And when that happens, and I suggest, look, even for people that are really serious about contact, fast for 4 days, no food or water. I mean, even if you can do it, cool. If you can't, that's okay. But try your best to do it, and then to see what happens in your experience with meditation and some good music, and just sit there and see what happens. These enlightened states happen. A lot of us will jump into medicines and stuff like that, and it's like, well, it's not necessary. You can do it with breathing, ice baths, and all these different things that we're learning now to reach those status state.
And have you done, Eddie, as you talk about the seventh planet, have you done, I know you've probably done this already, can you express to me, if you've already done this, what this beings on that planet look like from your visual perspective? I was going to ask you that question.
Yeah, they're okay. So it's everything that people experience as sacred geometry. The energetic signature is different because, like I said, most of the L's are blue. And why I call them L's is because that's what we call them. We call them angels or Ong L's. We say angel because that's what we were taught, but they're, sometimes, like I said earlier, pronunciation is so important, because when we talk about Ong L's, we're talking about our archangels. We're talking about these beings of sacred geometry, the energy that are, octahedron, tetrahedron, everything that's built in is built into us as well. We are that. But in their pure state, they've reached a state of evolution where they can, we can see them however we think would be like most pleasant. So they don't have a body like we do, and there are some on some of the planets that still have like
physical,
carbon-based physical.
So
they can leave that. They can leave that, and then they can go wherever in the world. They can go wherever in the galaxy, And that's
Sandra's saying, and one person, Sandra, one of our audience people, I was going to say, many have had contact with meditation, and opposite of Eddie, by hydrating with water. Hydrating with water.
Hydrating with water.
Yeah,
That's new to me.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That's and if that's working, that's a beautiful thing too.
A water fast? Maybe she needs a water fast.
I think maybe, yeah, by hydrating with water. Let's see. So I'm just trying to keep up here.
Water is sacred.
Yeah. Cat Life says they told me they are called the wing makers. I have met them. Let's see. I ran into Daniel Starr says I ran into two tall, beautiful ladies in wooded area, Mill Creek part, which they had pointed ears. They let's see if he has what the rest of the comment is. They something. Let's see. Let's see. Does Daniel have any more to that comment? I'm saying if there's I'm not sure, Daniel. Can you make another comment to give us more about that? You're watching Encounters, folks. This is the late night show, weeknights and weekends, 11 p.m. onward we'll go till 1 p.m., 1 a.m. I mean. And the show is being recorded. It'll be on my YouTube channel, as Truckerman Spaceship News. For new people, welcome to the show. Eddie is our guest on the Star Nation conferences, and I'm the host of WESU's NPR Pacific Radio Show and a contactee since I was a kid, and just totally connected on a lot of cosmic levels, to say the least. And thank you for all the people that have been gifting us. I just want to say thank you during the show. I have not said it yet. Thank you for your gifts, and I'm glad you're all here. And I'm just looking at the comments here. So, but we are talking about all these things because these are the things that will help everybody get to a state of consciousness. Because I see so many comments. I want to see them. I want to have contact. I want to see the spaceships, this, that, and everything else. But that can be done. But again, it goes back to the initial work that a person has to do that's living on this earth. Because really, in truth, maybe people don't know it, but everybody is a starseed. Now, when I say that, I mean that truly, that you might not remember where you come from or what planetary system you come from, but I would say over 300 people here, every one of you has a connection to the stars, meaning to some other planetary system, but you came here with human parents, you were born here, you've had the earthquake experience like I have, like Eddie has, we all have, but there's something more to you that you're probably wondering about, and that's why you ask the question. And maybe you're not asking the question, but if you go within and say to yourself, am I from somewhere else? Listen to what your higher self tells you. Your higher self, not your brain, the higher self will give you that answer if you meditate on it. That everyone here is from somewhere else. You're from another planetary system, another galaxy, solar system. You're not really from here, but you are here having the human experience, right? But you're not from here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This guy is asking, he said, or wondering if copper cups help. I'm gonna explain that part very simply the way that my chief did. And for those of you that don't know that I Sundance with the Lakota, and I'm just for reference, I'm gonna show my scars. But one of my chiefs, he was telling me after one of the Sundances, because we pierce our chest.
Also, this is an educational program, just in case, whatever's going on there. This is for educational purposes, just to make sure. But go ahead.
Yeah, so we dance and then we pierce and we give a give of our flesh. So it is a sacred, very sacred ceremony. So his wounds were fresh, and he stops and he because they always bring like this puff mushroom stuff to put in there, or like all different medicines or whatever to put in, so they heal good. And but one day Matthew looks at Chief and says, "What's the best medicine? What's the best medicine to put in your wounds to help them heal?" And he goes down to the ground and he picks up dirt and he rubs it into his wounds, and he was like, people have been stomping on that, spitting on it. Who knows if somebody
Right.
peed on it?
Right.
Who knows?
Don't know, right?
You
Yeah.
know. And he goes, and he's got it, and he's like, "That's the best medicine." And he said, "I believe you." He said, "Well, then it'll work." He said, he looked at me, he goes, "Eddie, those wounds, you can't even hardly tell that they're there anymore. He's out of all the other ones, you could still see them. These are like permanent for life, and they're gone." And so my point of saying that is if you believed that a starburst was the best medicine, if you picked up a starburst and said, this is the cure for everything that I'm experiencing, and
That's right.
it would become, and then you try to convince everybody this starburst, and they're going, no, I don't believe you. And because they don't believe it, it wouldn't work for them.
Mm-hmm.
If they believed it, it would work. And I'm not saying placebo, nocebo, any of these things. What I'm saying is there is some, even even she said, I think castor oil. It may be castor oil. It could be hot chocolate. It could be mullein tea is the best medicine for you. It could be mind over matter. Exactly. Mind over matter. What the mind is not your brain. Right. The mental sphere is a static field of potential around each and every being, and it exists throughout the entire cosmos. If you learn to tap into the mind, the mental static field energy of potential, everything that you want to be will be. But you have to tap it into it in the right way. And quit being a cynic about the world. Be a scientist about the self. And like we were saying, anything that we're saying, we could be wrong about the way that you make contact. Later on, people will go, I made contact and I don't do any of the things you guys were saying. And it's like, because you believe something else and it worked for you.
And a lot of times, what I'm saying is there are people we've had on the show, they are making contact with their star family right now. And not because they're doing what we have suggested, they already know what they're doing. They already have been downloaded in their beingness over the years. So when they became adults, they've had contact, they've met visitations with people told me they've been visited by Palladians or whatever it is, the people that are having positive contact, they have already been having contact. And they had it because they, for whatever reason, that's the way it is. Now, there might be another group of people that have not yet had contact with star people. You will, but again, that is where the work comes in. That's where, maybe for you, it's like you have to learn to, how you go to driving school to learn how to drive a car. You're a teenager in high school. Now you want to drive for the first time. Well, maybe that other teenager who's 18, they can drive and they just know how to drive. You're like, I don't know if I can make the right turn, the left turn, back into a car. I'm not sure what I'm doing. And so then you have a teacher that will help you and guide you to learn how to drive that car. So then you'll be able to drive the car just like the one who already knew how to drive it. You now, same age, will now learn that perspective. So what Eddie is really saying is, what I'm saying right here is that as you learn to do these things, if you've never had them happen before, you will eventually be able to have that direct contact with your star family. And that is a given. It happens differently for everybody. I know through doing all these interviews, there are different waves of light. So like, for example, when a wave comes into a beach, you say, oh, that's a little wave. Oh, there's a bunch of little waves coming in. Well, that's good. Those little waves are coming in. Then you see a bunch of bigger waves coming in, and they get bigger and bigger. What does that mean? That means as the waves get bigger, that means they've expanded to a much bigger level of consciousness, that wave. The littler wave is like the baby. The baby wave has got a little bit of consciousness going there, but not yet quite big enough to get to the full consciousness, everybody. But once that consciousness grows, once that wave becomes a super wave, like somebody surfing on it in Hawaii somewhere, trying to be the best surfer in the world, and they've done it, then you're getting to super spiritual cosmic consciousness. and you will get there. You just have to believe in yourself and stop believing you can't do this, because we've always lived in a world on earth where the people that are the naysayers say, you can't do this, this can't happen, it can't be possible, it's impossible for this to happen. Really? Is it impossible? No. If you believe a person telling you can never do this, your mind's going to make you think, oh, I can never do this like they did. I'm never going to see anybody from another planet that I'm related to, because I just can't do what they did. I'm over it. I can't do this anymore. But if you believe that you can, and you believe in yourself, everybody out here, wherever you are in the world, all of you can do this. Every one of you can do this. Everything what Ed's talking about, what I'm talking about, what we're really saying is just learn how to do it. Simply, that's right. Learn how to do it.
Yeah. I'm going to eventually, hopefully in the next few years, going to open up a mystery school, because I'm gonna explain how this works, right? So we know that people are learning telekinesis, learning how to see through the third eye. There's schools for this stuff now, and there's a kid named Dan here on TikTok that he does telekinetic. He moves bottles. He does all this stuff. There's a lot of videos. Yeah. So Dan's been doing this for a long time. Some people think he's a kook, but he does. He's been practicing for so long, and I work with the wind, and I work with the elements and stuff. But when we get to the kids, for example, like I'm holding a stone in my hand. Now, if I can just convince one child, I say, here, take this from my hand, and they reach out and they grab it, and I go, okay, now put it back. Now, take the stone from my hand without using your hand. Bring it from my hand to yours, and all we need is one child to see another one do it, and then they'll all be able to do it. Why? Because they don't have the biases that we do. As soon as they see, oh, how did you do that? Well, I just moved it from there to here. And they'll go, oh, okay. So, and they'll go, and they'll learn to grab the stone with their energetic body without touching the stone. And then us adults will go, okay, now teach us.
Right. That's right.
Teach us how to do that. Because it's and then they'll go, well, what was the process? What did you do? Well, I just saw it, and then there was a part of me that, and then they'll explain the whole process. Right. So we'll be able to do it. And that's the thing is, we're all learning to do these things, and it just takes a different sort of thinking than what we've been, taught and
basically taught, like I remember as a kid,
it was all bad.
Yeah, I was like, when I was a kid, I was with two other kids in my neighborhood, and we're up at this kid's house. And for whatever reason, I said, "Lay down. I'm gonna levitate you." Now, why would I ever say that? That's totally out of character for a kid to say, "Oh, I think let's see if we can levitate you. Like we can do it." I wasn't thinking about whether I can do it. I just said, "Oh, let's see if we can levitate you." So we put our hands down at ground level, and I do remember I said, "Man, we're going to levitate," and say, "Man, we're just going to levitate this other person," and I could swear we did levitate him just a little bit, and then he went, he didn't fall down; he was just slightly above the grass, and we just levitated him, and I'll never forget that. I know we did it, and that's when I was a teenager then, so like. If you don't think about something like that, like it's almost like your memory came back that you're able to levitate things, and it was there for just that brief moment, and then it was gone. But that means that we do come from a higher state of consciousness. Even though we're human, our original consciousness is way higher than our brain, way higher. But because we come from inhabiting this human form, this body, this suit, we have a brain that takes that ability away and puts it to sleep. We come in here, our brain takes over. Yeah, you can be a genius with a 3D brain, but that doesn't mean you're able to levitate people or levitate a rock. when we were in our state of consciousness before we came here to Earth, everybody, we had the ability to do a lot of things that we don't remember. And the thing is, we are going to remember these things and even after contact happens, we're all going to have the natural abilities to do things we never thought we could remember. And I'm talking levitation, I'm talking healing, all these things. We'll have all the abilities that we forgot when we came here to have the human experience.
You won't have to prepare the children. A lot of the children, when people say that other people are star seeds, that means they're literally from other planets. They're from a different star system. So a lot of the kids won't need to be prepared because they'll look at them and go, they'll remember. They'll be like, hey, like my family's here.
Right.
They're like, oh yeah, look, they're here now.
And with the children that are coming in now, the new babies that are being born now, you have to understand those children, those babies, those newborns, as they get older each year, they're going to be here when contact has already happened. They'll be here when the space people have normalized relationships here on the planet with us. And at that point, there will not be Earth-based governing systems the way they're set up now. There won't be pollution. There won't be war. There won't be hatred. There won't be people being jealous of each other. None of that stuff. That's all going to be, all old consciousness. That's going to be like past history. You know what I mean? Past history. Yeah. So as that history passes, it'll be in the history books of what the Earth used to be like for people to look at. And when you go to school, galactic school, whatever, oh, I want to learn about what happened before contact happened. And you'll learn about how the humans lived on Earth before contact happened. And then when contact happens, you'll see how the transitioning happens. When contact happens, it's going to be a slow process. And when I say this, there's going to be, as April explained it when she was on the ship recently, there are these things, and I'll mention this again, they're circular large objects called an arc. They're not like the ark that had people and animals on it. This is not the same thing. This is a round sphere, a large sphere, a number of these spheres, and there'll be people taken onto these arcs or these spheres, and our bodies will go into what you call stasis. When the body goes into stasis, all that means is you're still alive, your body's still breathing, and while you're in stasis, the Ashtar Command will be rejuvenating the planet Earth. You're not going to another planet. Some people think over the years that, oh, we're going to get to the new Earth. We're going to leave this planet. You're not going to leave anything. You're not going anywhere other than seeing the planet be rejuvenated, and that's what the Ashtar Command is doing right now. In our oceans, they're rejuvenating an area that was attacked with reverse engineered technology that was given to our government. And April has spoken about this a while ago. But in the bigger picture, the whole planet's going to be rejuvenated, everybody, meaning you're going to be rejuvenated. When you're in stasis or when you come back to the planet's going to look pristine, beautiful. I know it's hard to believe because we look at the wars going on and everything, but it's really going to be different. Everything's going to be different. And that's what's so important for me to share with you, because I work with the Ashtar Command as well as being in love with doing radio and TV broadcasting and the social media with my show here. I want people to know that this stuff is really going to happen. It's not like some fictional movie or some story that there's not some wishful thinking that, oh, we wishfully think that maybe someday we'll have, space people from other planets come here and we'll learn to do things and make the things better. It's going to happen. Whether people are ready for it or not, it's going to happen.
Commander, you and I are old enough to remember. Okay, we grew up on Star Trek. We grew up on the Outer Limits and all these sci-fi TV shows.
Oh, we did.
And I remember, nobody really remembers the graduation from the science fiction to the science fact we had the flip phone, and that was the first telecommunicator that they had on the TV show, and everybody was like, I remember this from Star Trek.
Right.
Now, and we don't read it. There's some of us that remember. I was a gamer, right? So I went from Pong to Intellivision and Atari to ColecoVision to all the way to what I think PlayStation 3 was the last thing for me. But I've seen, of course, PlayStation 5 and all the new games and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And now we're at AI tech, and that was in our lifetime. All of the science fiction that's become science fact
Right.
has happened in one generation. One generation. And we're still alive to talk about it. And all the things that we've gotten to experience through this generation, which, again, I've talked to people that were in their 50s 20 years
Right.
ago
Yeah.
that were like, you guys are so much more advanced than us. And I go, yeah, but you guys blaze the trails for us. And that's what we're doing for
Right.
the next generations as well. We're here to say, look, believe in you, believe in yourself, believe in the things that are coming, not for our sake. We're not trying to convince you of anything. We're saying just be ready.
Yeah.
PlayStation 6, PlayStation Infinite's coming out.
Right.
And and then once that experience happens, once contact is done,
Yeah.
and we have other beings here and we're living with them, and we're and they won't even remember
Right.
contact.
They really won't.
They won't even remember.
Peggy's saying Gene Roddenberry was the visionary. He was. Gene Roddenberry, I believe, also never said it, but I think he had visitations. With all the stuff he did with that whole thing, there's no way he didn't have some sort of an experience in his life. But through his producing Star Trek and all these other things, it was an extension of him saying, "Hey, look, this is we created this, but this is real. This is," and that's back in the '60s, and early '70s. It was really saying, "Okay, this is real. We're beaming here. We're going here." But they did in the way Hollywood wants to do it. But still, it shows that we went to other planets. We met other people. Essentially, that's the storyline. Is there's more than just us. We're not the only ones out there. There are humans that do believe that this is the existence of us, and there's nothing out there, and that God created one planet out of all the planets that was created. God said, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to create Earth out of the whole multiverse. That planet will have life on it, but no other planets will have life on it. We'll make the other planets have some trees, maybe a desert or something. They'll all be empty planets. There's no life. Only on Earth is there life, because I created on Earth. We wanted Earth to be the first planet with life, but I didn't do it anywhere else since billions of years ago." And so what I'm saying is, there are people that believe that. I've met some of them over the years. They truly think this is it. They think that space people would never come here, because why would they want to come to this planet? And then sometimes I get into a conversation with them and say, the reason why they're coming here is to wake you up, is to help you learn that your belief systems are kind of messed up on here on this planet. And they're here to kind of get that together for you, so you can remember that there are people here from other worlds, and they are here to interact. And in every generation, like if we were to be here, Eddie and I, and any of you, if we were here for billions of years and we still look like this, but we came from billions of years ago, we could tell you things from billions of years of existence that, hey, look, we came here on the year so-and-so billions of years ago, and we had advanced civilizations. We had travel that was more advanced. I came here, and we now live in 2024. But you have problems here that we didn't have billions of years ago. And understand, the planet Earth is billions and billions and billions. Like, to do a Carl Sagan thing, Carl Sagan used to try to do impressions of him. He'd say, our planetary system is billions and billions and billions of years old. Billions. That's the way he spoke. But he did believe, and he had a lot of knowledge. And too bad he wasn't alive to talk about things. But I think he knew what was going on out there in the universe. He studied it. I think he was a very aware person, Carl Sagan, that there was life out there beyond Earth. But he never got to talk about it because he's not here anymore. But I do believe he had that wisdom and that understanding too.
Yeah. Somebody said the Great Reset. Somebody else right above him said Ascension. I want to just kind of reiterate on some of the, we're all seekers, right? And there's a lot of people that it seemed like they had knowledge, 10 years ago about ascension and the Great Reset and stuff like that. Like I was talking about technology, that talk about that kind of stuff it's old tech. It's not now. What? Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because what's coming is we can't know. We can't know what it is. The only way I can really describe it is like different levels of evolution is like reaching a plateau. So when we evolve, and we have to evolve, especially if we're going to be with our star family that's going to come here, we have to evolve. We have to put this stuff, that this killing behavior and this violent behavior behind us. It doesn't go with the territory of becoming part of the being part of the stars. That doesn't. So the fear of like there's like alien wars and stuff like that. If there was ever any wars, they were from a long time ago, from beings that did have new tech, that still they weren't evolved enough to be able to compromise. That's why we have a command.
Yeah.
That's why we have an allegiance, an alliance of these beings of higher knowing and higher intelligences.
And when you're talking about, Ed, and for people watching the show for the first time, you're watching a talk show actually on TikTok, not a free-for-all. This is called Encounters. I'm host of WESU FM's NPR Pacifica radio show Sunday mornings for 21 years, called Astro Command Radio, The Cosmic Eye. So I'm glad you're here. You actually found an actual real show on TikTok, believe it or not. And so we're glad to have you all here, all the new people. We're on 11 o'clock nightly. Sometimes I'll take a night off or two just to regenerate, but we welcome all the new people here. Thanks for finding us here on Encounters, a real spiritual UFO talk program. And we're talking, we've been talking about contact. We've been talking about the James Webb Telescope. I documented on a recording that's on TikTok by asking the app, which I won't mention. I asked it, and this is the question I asked, and I didn't know what to expect. I did this 2 days ago. The answer I was recorded. I said, the James Webb Telescope has stated there is objects coming to Earth. And when I said that in that way, it repeated and said, the James Webb Telescope has detected an armada of alien spaceships, and this quote per quote, coming toward Earth. So the original thing that the James Webb Telescope had actually seen was an object. From what it appeared to be an object. This so-called object, which people might have thought was a big asteroid or whatever, changes direction, intelligently changes its direction, and is heading towards our planet Earth. Now, if you haven't heard about this, it corrected its position in space, and it's heading toward. Now, if this was simply a rock or some big asteroid, does an asteroid change its direction and say, I think I'm going to head towards Earth. Earth sounds a good planet. Let's just go right towards Earth. We'll go past Earth and head to the sun, go past the sun, and, we'll take stage left when we get past the sun. So I've got this documented. It's on recording. Everyone else did stuff several days ago about this all over TikTok about this object coming towards Earth, but nobody really had documented the possibilities of asking. And I normally would never ask the app for that type of question, because usually it'll say, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't say it. It just says a computerized, voice of a female's voice saying, I don't understand you. I don't understand. But it said, if you listen to the recording after the show's over, everyone should listen to it, and please follow me. You'll hear it say, it responds to my question very, very directly. I've documented this. It's saying in response that the object was, it says the object was an armada of alien spacecraft, and it said spacecrafts, they didn't say spacecraft, but spacecrafts coming towards Earth. Now, I've seen some of the other videos out here that people have created saying it's like a big, like square box of a city. Maybe, maybe not. But, it could be more than one thing. It could be maybe there is some traveling city in space, but a armada of spaceships coming towards Earth. Listen to the tape here when you're not watching my show. Go on my main page here on Ashtar Command, my main page. You'll see the video with the audio documented on there. You'll hear it word for word, and it's saying what NASA picked up was an armada of alien spaceships coming towards Earth. That's what it said, armada. Okay? Eddie, you've heard the voice recording?
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, you have to listen to it tonight before we get off. It's on my main page. You'll hear it respond to my question.
I have an Alexa here. I'm gonna start playing with it because I haven't used it. I bought it oh no,
really?
I found it. I'm gonna have to hook it up.
When you hook it up, ask the question and just say to it, I hear the James Webb the James Webb Telescope has detected objects coming to Earth, and see what the response is. And everyone can do this. And if you do it the right way, you're going to be blown away by the response of the app.
Yeah, John
it's
Tyler
all
said
the way you say it.
There was someone on here earlier. I don't know if you saw their comment, but they had said there was a UFO over Cypress, Texas. And they said, did anyone else see it? I didn't see it, but I'm in Cyprus.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like, I missed it.
Is the person in Cypress, Texas, are you still here? I'm sure they'll come back.
That'd be awesome because they commented like at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I did see something about. Yeah, I think there was somebody here that said something like that. Unfortunately, we didn't get to bring him on. Tomorrow night we'll be doing our regular show, and we got delayed. Last night was supposed to be Ashtar night, but because I had some problems with my phone, I went on my big iPad, on my iPad here, and I went live on TikTok there. But now we're back to normal, so we're getting near about 1 o'clock in the morning. Please tap, everybody follow us and tap. Follow me and tap. If you tap my side of the screen, we're at 89.2. We need to get to 100,000 likes tonight. Can we do it? If everybody taps, you see where it says 89.5, it won't go up unless you tap the screen on my side. You got to tap the screen. I'm asking everybody to make it part of your activation mission to tap the screen. Everybody follow the show. I don't always ask people to do that, but I want everyone to follow Encounters. Follow the show. Let people know about the show. My goal is here to bust the matrix everywhere, all over the world, no matter what country it is that has TikTok. I want those people to find the show and watch the show so they're going to have their minds blown. They can share their stories. If they have top secret information about disclosure, they can share it here. We've had people come on here who had top security clearance since last year. We do get those people on here too. They do have TikTok. Believe it or not, people that are in government agencies dealing with the subject have TikTok too. They do. They're out there. And we're almost at 100,000. We're at 97.7. Let's do this thing. Let's make it happen. We're at 12:51 a.m. here on the East Coast. You're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO show. I'm CmdrAleon. Eddie is with the Star Nation conferences, and we'll eventually be communicating with him for next year to be speaking at the conferences about this very subject. And next year, boy, will we have something to speak about at the conferences, and we're looking forward to doing that. I don't have any books written. I used to be I used to write for Sedona Journal in Sedona, Arizona. They're looking in Flagstaff. I used to write for them for years, about several years, but it was too much. So I was writing, doing the radio. I decided to focus more on the radio show, and now focused on here on my program on TikTok. Any final words of wisdom? No pun intended.
Yeah, just believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself. I mean, don't believe in anything that seems far fetched, and just be open be curious, just know what the truth is, and know that the truth is that everything is okay. It always has been, always will be, and you'll find when you find that peace within, then you'll find that you'll understand what real truth is and where it comes from. It comes from our core. It comes from
right.
Center.
Exactly what he's saying. Now, the other thing I want people to do, if you have the ability to do it, and if you don't, that's fine. If you're broke, don't worry about it. You see, I actually, thank you, Nicole. That's what I was going to say. I have these hanging lights here. Kitty, Mama, thank you for the lights. Boy, people must be psychic tonight. So I want to get all those lights put on the screen. If you see them and you can take a light, that light means a whole lot to me in supporting what we do here. We have right now, according to only 4 lights were taken out of 10. So I have 6 more lights to go. And we don't want to have a bidding war here, but, we have 6 more lights on my TikTok. Sandra, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Like I said, those that can do it, and you have TikTok coins. Bonnie, thank you for the hanging lights. Excuse me. And we appreciate that. So we have 6 out of 10. We have 4 more lights to go. We have 314 people. And I know not everybody has TikTok coins, but if you do have a full bank load of TikTok coins, throw some love this way. Tara, thank you for the hanging light. I appreciate that. We've actually accumulated, where are we now? 7. We need 3 more lights to go. 3 more lights to go. We did 109,000 already. Thank you. We did 109,000 likes tonight. Jersey for life. Thank you, sister. We appreciate you very much. And we're at 80% of our goal here. We need 2 more lights to go. Anywhere in the world, anybody wants to do lights, that's showing the hanging lights. Pete Tarth TV, my brother in Ireland. Good to see you, brother. Thank you. And we have Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. The audience is applauding, and that's great. They're all out there, all over the place. So I want to thank Eddie with Star Nation. He's always keep us abreast of what's happening. Get in touch with me on messaging when you're ready to do things that I know crazy right now in terms of me speaking. Let me know when we're going to set that up, and I'll be ready to do it. Everyone, give Eddie a Wisdom Keeper a round of applause for all the work he's doing, and we thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk soon.
Definitely. I'm going to take him off the ship here, and we thank him for being here. I want to thank the whole audience around the world, all of you. We love you all, and even if I don't even know you yet, I love everybody out here. You are a beautiful audience. I hope your seats were comfortable. We have a big studio. Our studio is all over the planet, so if you're on a futon, on a meditation pill, wherever you're doing, we thank you all for being here. And we're back on track after our technical problems last night. So we're just glad to have you with us. Take care, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow night for another show of Encounters at 11 p.m. Eastern. And as I always say, you're watching a show that is truly here to bust the matrix, and that's out of this world. I guarantee you'll never have a boring show when you're watching me here on social media. Take care, everybody. Be well. Love each other. Be unconditional to each other, and get ready as we get going further and further into the new year for the contact that will happen in 2026. We'll have more information on that as we get it. And we'll be doing some more Saturday events with April on our live. She's been on the spaceships for probably over 100 times now. I can't even keep track. Everybody take care. We'll see you later, and have a good night or good morning. Take care. I will answer one question. Bird says, will people from old country be aware of the changes to come and of the ET arrival? Yes. Before it happens, everybody's going to be aware of it. We'll be doing, just to reiterate, I'll be taking on a spaceship, and I'll be broadcasting, and we'll be actually, just let you know, Bird, we'll be overtaking all the radio TV stations around the planet, and we'll be actually overriding the TV news stations. We'll be broadcasting all over the world. So people will know about this when I'm on the ship. And we'll have more on that as we get into next year. As I get more information about how that's happening, we'll give you that information. Everybody take care. We'll see you tomorrow night at 11 for another edition of Encounters. Watch my Ashtar Command Spaceship News on YouTube. That's Ashtar Command Spaceship News. You can watch all our previous shows on YouTube. Take care, everybody. Have a good morning.